very much indeed, and welcome back to the second half of our program here from the Barbican Centre, which is already a mecca for tourists here. And I didn't even mean to say that. You were quicker than me there. But it is an amazing building. I mean, statistics show, it's just really amazing, the statistics show that enough concrete to lay 19 miles of motorway, enough piping to go around London twice, and no less than 75 miles of wood block flooring disappeared from this site since work began. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my privilege to... Thank you. That's not a Guinness record, I don't know what is, but at this point, somebody who's made 90 albums is going to come and enchant us. Recorded more than 850 songs. He's going to begin with terrific old standard. There'll be some changes made as his tribute to the Thatcher cabinet. And ladies and gentlemen, the king of San Francisco and everywhere else, Mr. Tony Bennett.
There'll be a change in the weather, I hope so, and a change in the sea. From now on, there'll be a change in me. My walk will be different, and my talk and my name. Nothing about me's gonna be the same. I'm gonna change my way of living. If that ain't enough, I'm gonna change the way I strut my stuff. Nobody wants you when you're old and gray. There'll be some changes made. There'll be a change in the weather and a change in the sea. From now on, there'll be a change in me. My walk will be different than my talk and my name. Nothing about me's gonna be the same. I'm gonna change my way of living, and if that ain't enough, I'm gonna change the way I strut my stuff. Nobody wants you when you're old and gray. There'll be some changes made. I'm gonna change my way of living, and if that ain't enough, I'm gonna change the way I strut my stuff. Nobody wants you when you're old and gray. There'll be some changes. There'll be some changes. There'll be some changes. There'll be some changes made today. There'll be some changes. And thank you for inviting me to such a beautiful night in this beautiful hall. I'd like to sing a song from a fascinating movie, Cabaret. Maybe this time I'll be lucky. Maybe this time she'll stay. Maybe this time, for the first time, love won't hurry away. She will hold me fast. I'll be home at last. Not a loser anymore, like the last time and the time before. Everybody loves a winner, but nobody loved me. Mr. Peaceful, Mr. Happy, that's what I long to be. All the odds are in my favor. Something's bound to begin. Everybody loves a winner. Everybody. Nobody loved me. Nobody. Mr. Peaceful, Mr. Happy, that's what I long to be. Are in my favor. Something's bound to begin. It's gonna happen sometime. Maybe this time. Maybe this time. I'll wait. I left my heart San Francisco, high on a hill. It calls to me to be where little cable cars climb halfway to the stars. Morning fire may chill the air. I don't care, my love waits there. San Francisco, above the blue, and windy sea. When I come home to you, San Francisco, your golden sun will shine. Be around to see how he does it when it breaks your heart to bits. Let's see if that puzzle really fits so fine. That's when I'll discover that revenge is sweet. As I sit there applauding from a front row seat, when somebody breaks your heart like you broke mine. When I come home to you, San Francisco, your golden sun will shine for me.
There's one advantage that Tony Bennett has, of course, which is that America has so much more romantic names than we do here. I mean, you know, I left my heart in Sutton and Cheam. It wouldn't work, would it? You know. And we have some things, of course, that are unique, thank goodness. I mean, for instance, the other day, somebody wrote to Burke's Peerage because they were inviting the Aga Khan to a formal dinner, and they wanted to know... And they wanted to know where to seat him at a formal dinner, and they got a reply back saying, "The Aga Khan is held to be a direct descendant of God. An English duke takes precedence." So we may not have San Francisco, but we've got that. And where else but in England would it have happened as it did recently that a rich man in Chelsea said to his chauffeur, "Drive over a cliff, James, I'm committing suicide." And now, at this point in the proceedings, it's my pleasure to ask you once more, by arrangement with Mr. Michael Yarwood, to give a very warm welcome to a very important person.
Shame, really, all the trouble we went to get the lectern and the feathers on the front of it. I would like to thank you all for coming and congratulate you on finding the place. I've been asked by the administrator to discourage you from applauding too enthusiastically. Apparently the cement is not yet dry. When they asked me to come onto the platform and say a few words, they didn't warn me about microphones or anything. I thought, well, I'd better dress up because one never knows when one is going to have one's photograph taken. And I do mean one never knows. one of the occupational hazards of being quite famous is seeing constantly unflattering pictures of oneself in the newspaper. It would make a pleasant change if the press would publish a picture of me sitting on a horse instead of the other way around. I'm a great believer in the freedom of the press, but one has to be very cautious about what one says to them. I remember when I was in New York, one journalist asked me while I was there, would I be visiting any striptease clubs whilst I was in New York? To which I replied, are there any striptease clubs in New York? The following day, the headline in the newspaper read, Prince Charles wants to know, are there any striptease clubs in New York? Press from time to time can be very humorous. One popular newspaper organized a competition to find a young lady who looked most like my wife. We thought it might be rather fun if my wife was one of the competitors. So she submitted a photograph of herself for this competition and came third. Very well laughed. She won a Lady Di wig. I suppose the next gimmick will be guess the weight of the baby. I must say that I'm very much looking forward to our forthcoming happy event. I'm sure that our infant will be much sought after and has caused the usual sort of family problems, such as which granny will babysit. I suppose if there is a feud about this issue, one of the grannies will just have to pull rank. I'm sure that in time our child will realize that it isn't always easy being a member of the royal family. We are denied privileges enjoyed by the ordinary British person. I mean, we're not allowed to vote, and we cannot withdraw our labour. Nor are we allowed to give Freddie Laker money. I do occasionally get the urge to do what the ordinary British bloke does. And I remember sitting at home one evening with my mother and father in Buckingham Palace, which, as you know, is quite adjacent to Victoria. Not a particularly fashionable area, but we like it. Anyway, we were sitting there, and I developed this insatiable craving for fish and chips. And so I ventured out of Buckingham Palace down into Victoria, and I acquired fish and chips for the three of us. Upon my return, I was severely scolded by the Queen. And not as I thought for going out without her consent, but I'd forgotten to put salt and vinegar on the fish and chips. But I would like to say finally, I have, as Morecambe and Wise might put it, enjoyed the show so far, despite the absence of the 3 degrees. So I must now return to the auditorium and find out who that is sitting in my seat. So, thank you very much.
my great pleasure to introduce an old friend. In fact, not so much an old friend as an eternally young friend. She's won or been nominated for every major award in America as Best Actress, whether it's an Emmy or an Oscar, plus a Grammy as well, all of those things, as well as the Tony Award when she made Broadway her own. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by for some of the sweetest sounds you'll ever hear from Miss Diane Carroll.
This is a song about New York City. New York City is the place where I was born and raised, and everything good that ever happened to me in my life happened to me in New York City. I started a television show in New York City called Julia 1,000 years ago. I did a Broadway show there called No Strings 1,000 years ago. Everything good that ever happened to me 1,000 years ago. But it's okay. I'm hanging in there, as they say. Give my regards to Broadway. Remember me to Carroll Square. Tell all the gang on 42nd Street that I will soon be there. Tell them of how I'm yearning to mingle with the old time throng. I'll give my regards to old Broadway and tell them I'll be there ere long. I'm spreading the news, you know that? 'Cause I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray and step right through the heart of it. New York, New York. I wanna wake up in that city that never sleeps to find out a number one top of the heap. Little town blues are melting away. I'll make a brand new start of it in old New York. If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York. New York, New York. I wanna
Diane Carroll. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the only man, I'm sure, in the world who became ever a straight actor at the age of 79 and then won an Oscar for The Sunshine Boys. He was the original, the very first castaway on Desert Island Cylinders. And before even Roy Plumley was invented, I think. And it's a great joy to say, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mr. George Burns.
Thank you very much. You know, the first time I played London was at the Victoria Palace in 1933. And they must have liked me because here it is only 49 years later. I've been in show business practically all of my life. I've done everything. I played the front of a horse, the back end of a horse. I did a roller skating act. I was a wire walker, a singer, a dancer, a monologist, a straight man, you name it, and I tried it. Then at the age of 79, I became a dramatic actor. And then at 81, I played God. I played him without makeup. And now at 86, I'm a country singer. And believe me, it wasn't easy to become a country singer. I had to give up skydiving. But of all the things I've ever done, I think acting is the easiest. Let's say I'm supposed to do a scene where I knock on somebody's door and the man says, "Come in." If I go in, that's good acting. If he says, "Come in," and I stay out in the hall, that's bad acting. I always go in, I'm a good actor. Milton Berle has been standing out in the hall now for 4 years. And they say the toughest thing about acting is to be able to laugh and to be able to cry. Well, not for me. If I do a scene and the director wants me to cry, I think of my sex life. And if he wants me to laugh, I think of my sex life. I must be a great actor because this morning after taking a shower, I took a look at myself in the mirror and I laughed and cried at the same time. I don't know what it is, but I seem to lose something with my clothes off. Phyllis Diller told me she has the same problem. You know, I played God now in 2 movies, and the other day I got carried away with the part I played. In an elevator, a woman said, "My, what a beautiful day," and I said, "Thank you." Look, why shouldn't I play God? Anything I do at my age is a miracle. It wasn't easy to play God. Had to get written permission from Danny Thomas. And not only that, I'm still being sued by Charlton Heston. And every time I run into Billy Graham, he steps on my foot. But the nice thing about playing God is that nobody's ever seen him, so the critics couldn't pan me. They didn't know whether I was doing it right or wrong. Well, now I want you to sit back and relax because you're in for an exciting evening. I'm going to sing. I'm going to sing 5 songs. You like them, I'll sing 6. You don't like them, I'll sing 38. Here's a song that started a whole new career for me. Let's do it. Wish I was 18. At a bar down in Dallas, an old man chimed in. and I thought he was out of his head. But being a young man, I just laughed it off when I heard what that old man had said. He said, I'll never again turn the young ladies' heads or go running off into the wind. I'm 3/4 home from the start to the end, and I wish I was 18 again. I wish I was 18 again, and going where I've never been. But old folks and old oaks standing tall just pretend I wish I was 18 again. Now time turns the pages and life goes so fast. The years turn the black hair all gray. I talk to some young folks, hey, they don't understand the words this old man's got to say. I wish I was 18 again, and going where I've never been. But old folks and old oaks standing tall just pretend I wish I was 18 again. Lord, I wish I was 18 again.
So the show is over, and now it's the turn of the Prince and Princess of Wales to take the stage to meet some of the officials and stars. First, Rosalind Wilder, who was responsible for staging tonight's show. David Frost, the impeccable host of the proceedings. And Elaine Page, one of the singing stars, is now presented to the Princess. David Frost and Elaine Page with Prince Charles. And the Princess talks to impressionist Mike Yarwood, who seems to be demonstrating one of those characteristic gestures. Then two other stars, Tony Bennett and Diane Carroll. Prince Charles now chatting with Mike Yarwood. One wonders whether His Royal Highness is perhaps getting a few tips on how to do an impersonation of Mike Yarwood. Anyway, they've got plenty to talk about. Marvin Hamlish, the American composer and entertainer. And there's George Burns, the veteran American comedian, 86 and still going strong. Mike Yarwood still making an impression on Prince Charles, Mr. Brian Cowgill, the Managing Director of Thames Television, is presented to Her Royal Highness. An important night this for Thames, whose cameras have been covering the gala performance. Prince Charles with George Burns. And next to him, Mr. Harry Rabinowitz, the musical director who conducted the London Symphony Orchestra tonight. And next to him, on the right of your screens, Mr. Tony Lewis, the booking agent for the Barbican Centre. Mr. Nigel Ryan, Director of Programmes for Thames, and Philip Jones, the Director of Light Entertainment, who brought tonight's show to your screens. Together with Mr. Robert Reed, who produced and directed this gala evening for television. Well, it's certainly been a night to remember, and an evening which has raised many thousands of pounds for the Order of St. John and the Prince's Trust. Prince and Princess of Wales now join the other guests at a champagne supper. Tonight, the Barbican Centre was christened by the world of entertainment and honoured for the second time by royalty. We wish it a happy and a successful future. From the City of London, we wish you good night.